Okay, so now we are ready to start working on our hero section. So before we start coding, if you notice, our hero section seems to be divided into two parts. The first one is this text over here, and the second one is this image. And then this text consists of two parts. The first one is actually the message, the slogan, and then we have these two buttons. So we are going to divide our hero section into two divs. One div is going to contain everything on our left side, and the second div is going to contain this image. So let's get started. Okay, so this is our hero section. We have given it the class name home, so let's keep it home. Now let's remove the contents of this hero section. Let's create a div with the class name description. Then another div with the class name slogan. IT solutions that transform your business. Okay, now we need another div for the buttons. Button div, and we need two anchor tags. The text is learn more, and second one, contact us. So for the head steps, what we are going to do is that we are going to link them to one of these sections. Okay, for the learn more, let's attach about, because when we click on this learn more button, we want to be redirected to this section, about us button, about us section. And for the contact us, we want to go to over here, copy and paste. Okay, now let's create another div for the hero image. And this image is coming from images, image 1. For the alternate text, let's put it hero image. Okay, that's it. Let's go and have a look in the browser. Okay, so this is how it currently looks. IT solutions, they transform your business, learn more, and contact us, and then we have this image. Okay, so let's go down and see if we have already defined any properties related to the main element or the section. Then based on that, we will move further. Okay, for the section, we have given it width 5%, which is a very minuscule width, and we gave it that width because we wanted the scroll bar to appear. Now, since we have already sorted out that scroll bar related issue, so I'm commenting this width out for the time being. So technically, no properties have been defined for the section. However, for the main, we have given it position relative. And then we have moved the main element bit down with respect to this navigation height. Then we are giving it 100% width, and left is 0. But for the main, we set it position relative so that we move it bit further down with respect to its original position. And we moved it below the navigation height by setting the top to this variable. We have also given it width 100%. Now let's go and define some properties for the section. First of all, let's give it some background color to see actually what we are doing. Are those changes taking effect to the section or not? So for the background color, let's give this temporary color, let's give it this one. Okay. In fact, let's not do that. Copy, because if we define background color for the section, so every section will have this color. So what we actually want is, we want to give this color to the home section, because currently we are working on the home section. Okay. In fact, let's give this primary color to the home section. Why were we assigning it temporary color? Okay. Okay, that's better. So this is our section. Now in order to define the rest of the properties, I'm temporarily commenting this image out so that we don't have any image on the screen. Because we haven't defined any properties for the image, as a result it's taking up its original size. The consequences of this will be, if we define any other properties for the other elements of this section, they will not take its effect. Or rather shall I say, they will take its effect, but because of this huge size of the image, the effects of those properties will not be visible. So I'm temporarily commenting this image out. We will define the properties for the rest of the elements, and then we will bring the image back in, and then we will adjust the image according to the height assigned to the home section. So index.html, and let's comment this out for the time being. Okay, as you can see, now the effect of removing that image is, now our home section is very minuscule, which is only this part is the home section. Now we want this home section, or any section for that matter, to occupy the whole area of this browser window, excluding the navigation bar. So to do that, what we are going to do is that, let's go back to the section and let's give it minimum height. We are going to use calculate function, and we are saying from the 100% viewport area, subtract whatever height we have assigned to the navigation bar and assign that remaining height to this section. So each section should have minimum of that much height, which is result of evaluating this function. So this way, even if there are very few elements on the section will still occupy the whole of the viewport area. Okay, so now as you can see, we still have just these 2 lines of text or the contents in the home section, but still occupying this whole viewport area. And the section about section starts here, and if you notice, this section is also occupying a lot of the area. This white space is empty area, which is occupied by this second section. And likewise, the section 2 is also occupying the space needed to cover this whole viewport area or the browser area. Now, before we define any further properties, let's bring back the image. Now, because the image is occupying a lot of space, now the home section will occupy more than the viewport area. Okay, so let's go down, and our home section still continues. And this is where the home section ends. So this was the reason that I temporarily comment this image out, because otherwise we would not have realized that the minimum height occupied by each section is viewport height minus navigation area. Now, because there are more contents, because of the image size, as a result, the height of this section is also increased. It's no longer consisting of minimum height. Okay, now we have to move this image to this side and these contents in the center. To do that, for the home section, we are going to set the display to grid template columns. We are going to divide the width into 3 parts. 2 parts will be assigned to the text and the 1 part will be reserved for the message. So 2 FR and 1 FR. Okay, so this is the text and this is the image. Now, because again, no properties has been set for the image, so even though we have assigned 1 fraction to the div containing the image and 2 fractions to this text, but image is still occupying space with respect to its original dimension. As a result, it has overflown out of its parent div. Now, in order for the image to fit into the area reserved for its parent container, we have to define certain properties for its parent container and then for the image itself. So the parent container is home, and then we have a class. I think hero image is the class. Okay. Now, if you notice, the hero image is inside the home, and the properties that we have defined for this hero section are with respect to the width of the browser or the viewport area. So therefore, over here, we have to work with the width as well. So let's make it inherit. So that means whatever space is going to be inherit with respect to this 1 FR, get that width. And now copy, paste. And for the image, and for the image itself, width is 100%, that is 100% of the parent. So this will get whatever is the width of this hero image div, and that div is calculated based on this 1 FR. Okay, now let's see the effect so far. Okay, so this is the image, but it seems to be, I think that's fine. But just to be extra certain, let's give it object fit. Let's make it cover. So it will cover the whole area reserved for this hero image div. Okay, that's better. Now let's make this image slightly muted. For that, let's give it opacity 0.4. Let's give it 0.4. Okay, that's better. Now we can start working on this part. Okay, so the classes are description, slogan, and btn div. Home, description. Now just to see the effect of defining properties for this description section, we are temporarily going to give it background color. Let's give it this one. Remember, this is a temporary color. This is missing. Okay. Okay. Let's give it height. Again, inherit from the parent. The height is inherit the parent height. Okay, so now we want the buttons to be pushed towards the bottom and this text almost in the center. So for that, what we are going to do is that, again, since our description consists of two children, first div is slogan and another div is button div. So we are again going to set the display to grid. But this time, we are setting grid template rows. For the first one, we want to reserve 60% of the space. And for the second one, we want 40%. Okay. Set margin auto for the description. Now, let's target its individual children. So, copy, paste, and then first child is slogan. The second child is button div. Let's make them hero div, hero buttons. So hero BTN. Okay. Now for the slogan, again, just to see how much space is being occupied by this slogan div, we are going to give it temporary background color. Okay. Let's give it font size 6 rem, line height 9 rem, font family, we are going to give it this thing, copy, and where were we? Paste. Okay. Now we are going to shrink the width of this area so that this text seems to occupy the center. So for the width, let's make it 60% and margin auto, text align center. Okay, that's great. We still have some more properties for this div to define, but let's put it on the back burner for the time being and let's move on to styling these links. So let's move on to the hero button and set it display to flex. Justify content space evenly. Align items center. Width 100%. Okay, this is L flex. Okay, but what are they doing over here? They are supposed to be beneath the slogan. So let's check. Let's give it background colors to see what's happening. Background color. Okay, I think there is something wrong because if you notice the word business, which is over here, has been kind of overwritten by this div. This should not have happened. Okay, the problem seems to lie over here. Over here for the description, that is this whole div, we have set the height to inherit, that is inherit from the parent. And because for the parent, which is home, and by set, I mean we haven't explicitly set any height, but because this home is a type of section, and for the section we have defined minimum height, not the height, but minimum height. So technically, for the section we haven't defined any height, therefore it's going to the main element, and this one also doesn't have any explicit height defined. So therefore, this description is not taking on the whole height of the remaining viewport window, excluding the navigation area. So to resolve this, so what we are going to do is that for this description, we are going to give it explicit height, which is from the 100% viewport area, subtract the navigation height and assign the rest to this description area. Okay, now it's working. Now we can remove these background colors, or let's keep them for a little while longer. And let's go back to the slogan, and instead of the background color, let's give it color primary text. Okay. Let's change this, comment this color. Okay, that's better. Now let's remove this color as well. Now let's define the styles for these elements itself. So copy, paste, and anchor elements. display flex, because we want the text to come exactly in the center when we give it the button appearance. So justify content center, align item center, width is 18 rem, height is 5 rem. So basically I want it to turn into a rectangle. Now to give it round edges, first of all let's give it border color. Okay, it's going to be primary text. Now border radius, border color, style is solid, 2 pixels should be the width, and for the radius let's give it 4 rem and see its effect. Okay, that's better. Now we have to increase the font size. Font size is 2.2 rem. Text decoration is none. We want to remove this underline. Okay, so this is how it looks. Now let's change the color of this text. So color is this outline color. Now we have to transform this text to be capitalized. Text transform, capitalize. Okay, good. Now we have to define the hover effect for this one. So copy, paste, and hover effect. Okay, but first we have to define the background color for normal anchor element. So background color is transparent, and over here change the background color to primary text and the color to secondary color. Give it some box shadow for the glowing effect. So the horizontal offset 5 pixels in the right direction and 5 pixels vertical offset but in the top direction, so minus 5x. 15 pixels for the blur effect, and for the color primary text. Next we have to work on defining this animation. When the page is loaded, we see this animation, this one. Okay, to define this animation, we have to define a part of it in the CSS and another part in the JavaScript. So first work on the CSS part. So when the page is loaded, if you notice, this text is coming from the right side into the center and the buttons are moving in from the left side into the center. So where is the slogan? Okay, this one. For that, what we are going to do is that we are going to define transform property, and for the transform we are translating in the y-axis, or not y, x-axis. And since we want it to push it towards the left side, so 12%. So this will push this text 12% to the left from its original position. And then set its opacity to 0. So in the beginning they are invisible. Then let's define a class called show to it. Then opacity is 1, that is make it visible, and copy, paste, and bring it back to the original position. Okay, slogan. Okay, so we have to get a reference to this slogan. Document or query selector. Let's access slogan. Now slogan dot class list dot add show. Hit enter. Okay, I didn't see the transitioning effect. Okay, why am I not seeing the transitioning effect? If I remember correctly, I have defined the transition property for the HTML element so that it should be effective on all of its children. But turns out it's not effective on its children like this. So what we have to do is that we have to create another block, and now over here we are saying all the children of HTML. So we have to put an asterisk over here. So this means all the children of HTML should have this property applied. Paste. Okay. Now you will see this transitioning effect. Previously, this property was defined just for the HTML, therefore it wasn't working on its children. But now over here we are saying all the children of this HTML apply this property. So hopefully this will resolve the problem. So let's refresh and let's get a reference to this slogan once more. Now let's use toggle. So toggle means if this class is attached to this slogan, remove it, and if it's not there, then attach it. So currently it's not there, that's why it's invisible. Now hopefully this will attach it and we will see the smooth transitioning effect as well. Okay, so it's working. Okay, now we have to define similar properties for these buttons as well. Let's go down. Okay, for these hero buttons, again, what we are going to do is that let's copy these two properties, paste them over here, and now set the translation -12% to transition in the other direction. Now again, let's copy this, paste, but instead of the slogan, let's put it hero button, opacity 1, and translate back to its original position. Let's refresh first. Now instead of slogan, let's access buttons. So, and the class name is hero button. Okay. Okay, good. So it's working as well. Now we have to make it dynamic through JavaScript. So let's go to JavaScript. Let's first of all define a variable. And while we are at it, let's get references to both the slogan and the buttons as well. So const slogan is document.query selector slogan. Copy paste and hero button. Okay, so now let's assign an object of type intersection observer to this variable observer. So let's go down. Observer is new intersection observer. So this is a class which is made available to us by default by the browsers. So we are only creating an object of type new intersection observer, but we can give it a reference of any element in our HTML page. And what this intersection observer will do is that it will continuously keep monitoring that object. If that object comes into the visible area of the browser, then whatever functionality we have associated with it, that functionality will be triggered. So this way we can tell this observer object to keep monitoring slogan and hero buttons. As soon as they come in the visible area of the browser, attach show class to them, and the moment they go away from the visible area of the browser, remove that show class from them. So when we are defining this intersection observer, we are going to pass in the function which will define the functionality which will be executed each time the tracked elements comes into the view. So over here we are just defining this functionality. So we are passing a callback function to which we are passing all the elements which we want this intersection observer to track. So entries. Now within the body of this callback function, we are going to iterate over each element of this entries. So for each element which is currently being tracked by this object, pass one entry at a time. to the callback function of this for each function. And over here we are saying entry dot target dot class list dot toggle show. So this entry dot toggle will represent the particular element which is being tracked by this intersection observer. So we are saying to that class either attach or remove this show method. And as the next parameter, we are telling it that this should happen when entry dot is intersecting. When this entry is actually intersecting, that is in the visible area of the browser. So when this happens, toggle this show. I have explained this intersection observer in depth in one of my videos. You can check out that video for the detailed explanation. I will put the link in the description down as well for your convenience. Now over here we are just defining the functionality. The next thing that we have to do is that we have to let this observer know that what elements it should keep observing. So currently we haven't yet told this observer object what element to keep track of. We have only told it what should happen once they get visible in the viewport area. So to attach those elements to this observer object, we have to, let's go to this window.onload function. The reason for that is that when we give it an element to track off, by that time we want the JavaScript to be aware of the existence of that element. Load function only exists once every element of the HTML has already been loaded into the memory. So by that time, every HTML element exists in the DOM. So this way, we avoid the risk of that element not existing at that moment in time when we are associating the element to the intersection observer. So therefore, over here in this onload function. So, observer, we have to call the observe method on this observer object. So we are telling this observer object to keep observing following objects. And those following objects are slogan and hero button. Okay. Slogan, copy paste, hero button. Hero button is not a valid selector. Okay. There were 2 dots. Okay. So as you can see, it's already happening, but I think there is something wrong because we are not able to see the buttons. Hero button. Okay. Good. So this is happening. Now let's go down and go back up. And again, this is happening. Now we need to work on making this section responsive. So let's get started. I think the only thing that we need to change is the font size. Okay, so we are changing the font size from 6 rem to 5 rems and probably a little bit of height as well. Other than that, the rest of the things are already responsive because of using rem units. And okay, for the slogan, decreasing the font size. And for the buttons, maybe we should also decrease width as well, slight height as well. Then, okay, when we are at 1200, home, description, slogan. Font size, let's make it 5 rem. And for the hero button anchor, sorry, not anchor, the button width, the original width is 18 rem, so let's make it 17 rem. And height, I think it's anchor element, yeah. Height, let's make it, the original one is 5 rem, so probably 4.5. And for the hero links, let's decrease the overall width little bit, just little bit. So width is, the original one is 100%. For this one, let's make it 95. Refresh. Change it to 1200. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, I don't think we need to do anything else. Oh wait, as you can see, the image is not occupying the whole height of this viewport area, so we have to fix this image. So instead of fixing this in the 1200 part, we are going to fix it in the global area. This way, hopefully, it's going to be fixed for all the windows. So we are going to go up to our global properties Let's look for the image. This is hero image. Okay. Now before we define any properties to fix the image height, we have to understand why we are getting this problem in the first place. So the thing is this, if you notice, this image is getting width defined to be 100%. So it will first look for its immediate parent, and if that parent has width defined, it will take 100% of that width. So the immediate parent of this image is this hero image div. Now this one has explicit width defined, but it is in turn getting width inherited from its own parent. So the parent of hero image div is this home div. Now this one has display grid with 2 columns. So basically the width is divided into 3 parts. 2 parts are assigned to the first column, and the remaining last part is assigned to the second column, which is this hero image div. So whatever is the width, the third part is assigned to this hero image div, and that whole width is being inherited by this image div. But as far as the height is concerned, nowhere the height is defined. So what the browser is doing is that it's trying to fit the image within the specified width. But as far as the height is concerned, the browser is free to either stretch the image or to shrink the image such that its aspect ratio is maintained with respect to the width. Now what we need to do over here is that we have to take that freedom away from browser, and we have to let it know that no matter what happens, you not only have to adjust the image with respect to the width but also the height occupied by this hero image. So to do that, first of all, we have to assign explicit height to this hero image. So the height that we are going to assign is, so we know the height is all the viewport height minus the navigation bar. So again, we are going to use calc function 100 viewport height minus nav height. So now the parent div has explicit height defined. Now we can make the image itself inherit from it. We can make it 100% as well. Let's make it 100%. Okay, so now we have taken the freedom away, and we are forcing browser to not only adjust the image with respect to the width but also with respect to the height. So now let's have a look in the browser and see its effects. So refresh. Okay, so with respect to the 1200, the image is behaving just the way it's supposed to. Now for the 768, even though with respect to the width and height, it's occupying the whole area, but if you notice, the whole image is not visible. So what we are going to do over here for the 768 and 480 browser windows is that we are going to turn this image as the background of this screen, and this text will be in the front. So to do that, we have to change the display property for this from grid to block. So let's go to 768. Okay, so this is 768. Okay, over here for the home, set the display to block. Then for the home hero image position, we are going to set it to absolute. Top is 0, then left 0, and the width is 100% of its parent. So now the home has been changed back to display block, and now we are making this hero image to be starting right where this home element starts. And using these properties, we are saying cover the whole area with respect to the width. As far as the height is concerned, it will still inherit from its global properties. The reason we are redefining the width over here is that the global width was 1 FR, but over here the width is whole browser window, even though the browser window is smaller for tablets and mobile devices, but it's whole browser window. So the width is changing. That's why we are redefining the width over here, but the height remains the same. That is the whole viewport area minus the navigation area. So that's why we don't need to change the height property over here. Now let's change the opacity from 0.4 to, let's make it 0.2 because we want the image to be very dark. Okay. So for 768, this is how it looks. We can still see the image in the brown background, and it's covering the whole area. Now we need to, if you notice, this text over here is divided into 3 lines. So we have to decrease the width of this div so that it occupies 3 lines as well. So since this is the slogan, so over here, home, description, and then we have slogan. Let's decrease the width to from 100 to let's make it 50%. Okay, that's better. Now we have to turn these buttons like these. So the buttons are defined in home, description, and then hero btn. Now since in the global section, the hero button has already display property flex, so we are only changing the flex direction to column. Then justify content in the global area is spaced evenly. So over here we are going to change them into center. So this is how they look. We have to increase their width and then put some space between these two buttons. So put some space between these two buttons. We have to copy, paste, and then anchor links, and then let's give it margin bottom 2.5 frame. Okay, the space is fine. Now we have to increase their size. So if you remember, we have given it height and width in the global section. So let's go back to the hero button. Over here, let's paste the width and height. Let's change from range to make it 65%. That is 65% of the parent. Okay, that's good. Maybe they are a little bit bigger. So make them 60. We can keep the height 5 frames same. It's okay. Okay, I think they are fine. Now we can move on to 480. I think it's sorted as well. So there is nothing more to do. Let's go back to 1200. Good. Now 768. That's also working fine. Image is also fine. 480. That's also fine. Okay, I think there is one more thing. Now if you notice in the navigation bar, at the edges there doesn't seem to be much space. So what we are going to do is that we are going to the 1200 media query, and for this header section we are going to add some more padding. So let's search for 1200. Okay, now after this HTML, let's header, and padding is for the top and bottom we have 0, and for the left and right we have 2 rems, so let's make it 4 rem. We have 2 rems in the global section, I think, so we are increasing to 4 rem. Let's see its effect. Okay, that's perfect. I think that's much better. Now with this we are ending our today's tutorial. If you like my contents, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much. Happy coding!